Hi and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Grace, and today we're sitting in a new spot. I usually set up like right over there in that corner just because, or I think the lighting is like best since it's right under the light, but I realized that like maybe it's too close to the light that all of the video footage comes out like super yellow. Without any further ado, today we're going to be talking about breakfasts, which you may already know and expect that this is going to be the first thing we talk about. But yes, it is the most important meal of the day. And let's get right into it. Some people start off their mornings with a cup of coffee, which is not a horrible idea because if you need some caffeine in your system to set you off for the day, that might be something you do. If it's a part of your morning routine or just something you've gotten used to, or if it's like a little joy that makes you excited about the rest of the day, that's awesome. However, you should not drink coffee on an empty stomach because of the acidity, which can cause issues later on. So I ironically say that as I'm sipping coffee. But don't worry, I already had food. So yes, pair off your coffee, or if it's your morning matcha, with food because you want to prevent acid reflux. If you start off with a nice glass of water, that is even better. But yes, let's dive right into some of the things to know for breakfasts. How you start your morning kind of sets the tone for the rest of the day, right? I think in the most part, everyone would agree. Same goes for the first food that you put in your mouth sets the tone for the rest of your meals and your mood and everything for the day. Before we start, one key word that should be defined and emphasized is the word metabolism. So metabolism is a chemical process that occurs to maintain life. Essentially, the way that you intake food and it is converted into energy. And so with that being said, let's dive into a few things that you should keep in mind the next time you go to sleep and think about the next morning or when you wake up. First, do not skip breakfast. Do not. Yeah, you might think that, oh, I'm consuming less calories in a day, that might help with other things, or oh, I'm not super hungry, so I'm not going to eat, I'm just gonna wait until I get hungry, and then ends up being like lunchtime. Yeah, it's pretty understandable, but what you're doing is messing with your circadian rhythm. The word breakfast can be broken down into 2 syllables, break, fast. When you're sleeping, you are fasting. And so breakfast, you are breaking that fast, and you are supposed to be eating and fueling yourself. The way that you fuel your body is really important. And there's this quote that I wanted to share. Think of a fire. In order for it to start burning, you have to light it. Then you add small amounts of wood every couple of hours to keep it blazing. The same is true with your metabolism. Yeah, your metabolism needs something to kickstart it so that the rest of your day you can function properly, feel energized, and not feel lethargic, tired, or hungry. Because sometimes being hangry and being low energy can actually ruin the rest of your day. So what should you eat for breakfast? The key is a high fiber carb with maybe a side of protein or a fat. And we can dive into suggestions and options later on in this video. Second, do not have a high sugary breakfast. You're not only playing dangerously with your blood sugar level first thing in the morning, but it can also interrupt your metabolism. And it's really okay if you have a sweet tooth. There are many ways to go about it by using fruits and other maybe natural sweeteners like honey, maple syrup, etc. Third, do not eat carbs alone. Low-key, this is the same as eating a candy bar for breakfast. Since carbs are sugars in their simplest form, they will cause an increase of blood spike in your body. And what follows a spike? A crash. Basically, that's a recipe for disaster for the rest of your day. So if you pair your carbs appropriately with something else, then it's a good way to prevent that big of a spike. Fourth, go all in for breakfast. Go ham. It's really helpful to your metabolism when you have a full, satisfying meal for breakfast that sets the stage for the rest of the day and the meals and snacks that follow. This also keeps you fuller for longer, which might cause less stress during the rest of the day when you're hungry and you can't figure out what to do, or you're busy. So I whipped together myself some breakfast. As you can imagine, you already know the drill. I have a yogurt bowl. I should have showed it before, but I just decided to do this, so I already am halfway done. But I'm eating with a very nice view. You might have heard the phrase, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and in a sense, they're not wrong. Apples are a great source of fast and simple carbs, and they're pretty tasty, pretty sweet. You can also pair this with peanut butter. I think my breakfasts typically tend to either be a yogurt bowl on days that I am pretty hungry or I need to go longer without food because of classes. Apples and peanut butter are a very quick alternative where I don't want to have such a heavy meal. You can also have some cereal with milk, and I have some great recommendations for cereal. Let me give you a little sneak peek of a future video. And there are many other ideas that you can try for yourself.